Hi there, welcome to Frenchie's video. Today it's a video that somebody requested. I think her name is Rose, I'm not sure, but she wanted me to show never-ending card. When she asked me that, I was like, what is that? And I searched it and I'm like, oh boy, I did that many years ago. So but I never did a video, so today I'm going to show you how to do it. Here is what is a never-ending card. It open and open. I mean, it keep on going. It's just like the Energizer Bunny. I think we should rename this card and call it the Energizer Bunny, because you see it keep on going and going. So today I'm going to show you how to do it with a piece of 6x6 paper. You can do it any dimension, I mean, as long as it's square, any size. This one, it's a 4x4, and it's the same thing. It keep on going and going and going. So this one here would fit in a regular size envelope. It's just that you know, it would be longer at one size, but then you don't have to pay the extra postage. If you do the 6x6, then you can go on my blog, and on the search button just type diagonal envelopes, and then you're going to see how easy it is to make this size envelope. To make for a 6x6 card, really your envelope is 6.5. You take a piece of DSP or cardstock, cut it at 10 by 10, and you score every side at 4 and 5/8. 4 and 5/8 diagonal, and then you just cut your little tip every corner, fold it, and you get your envelope. But you can go on my blog, and I got a video at FrenchieStamps.com. Again, it's FrenchieStamps.com. Okay, let's get started with this. You start with 2 pieces of DSP, and like I said, we're using 6x6. So you want to make sure that we're going to put the face the same side, but that's not important right now. We're going to take this, we're going to score at 1.5. Oops, I get my diagonal plate. You don't want the diagonal plate. I almost make a boo-boo there. You're going to score at 1.5, at 3, and then at 4.5. That's your first one. 1.5, 3, and 4.5. If you change your size of paper, what you want to do is score the center on over here. That is just one piece. The other one is going to be different. This one, you're going to score it right in the middle, and then you go the middle from the half. So 3, the half of 3, it's 1.5. And then 4.5. You can turn it and go back at 1.5 if you're afraid to mess it up. So you score in the middle, and then the middle of the middle, so the quarter of the card. So it's 1.5, 3, 4.5. I'm going to move this because that was for my envelope. This one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do 1.5, skip the 3.5, and 4.5. And then the 3, you want to flip your cardstock and then score it the other way. So when you want diagonal, horizontal and vertical. So you need one on one side and one on the other side. I'm watching my hand here. You guys cannot see it. You guys would laugh. I'm talking with my hand. Okay, now you get this. This is the main important step that I'm going to show you. You want both sides facing each other, like the same pattern facing each other. It's going to make it nicer. You see this in the center there? That line go that way. This one, we want it to go the other way. You don't want it to face the same side. But before we keep on going, we're going to reinforce our score line. Not the center one, because the center one is just cut. I want to make sure this is straight. We're going to cut that. I just needed a mark. It don't have to be reinforced, and really it's better if you don't reinforce it. So just reinforce the first and last score. So again, the first and last score, you're going to reinforce this. And you want to do both sides because this card, like you can tell, it flips on every direction, up, down, and everything. So you want to make sure it's going to flip easy. You want to make sure that it is reinforced very good. Okay, now just to make sure, okay, I get my line there. So this one it's facing this way. Oops, I want that side in. That side is facing this way. This one here need to face the other way, this way. So now we're just gonna add snail in the corner, and I go 2 strips of snail. Make sure you don't pass your score line though. So I'm gonna do 2 strips there. So you want to do the 4 corners. I want to make sure I get enough here. So don't pass your score line and you're going to be good. Okay, now you're going to take this, make sure it's lined up very good. Want to double check, make sure I get the... And that when you choose the DSP, I would say choose a pattern that it's kind of neutral, or you can stamp on it and put a message or whatever. If you take like this bulb right there, it would be hard to stamp on that. So as long as you get a side that it's easy to stamp. And now I want my big scissors. I know it's ribbon scissors, but I like to have the long scissors, because what we're going to do, make sure they're separated, they're not together, because we're going to cut. And you see the score line we did there? That's where we're going to cut. Make sure they're not together there, because if you get them together, that wouldn't be, it wouldn't work. That's why I like my long scissors. If you do the 4x4, the snip worked very good for that. Or you can use the snip too, it's just you have to be careful. Now let's go the other way. And again, let's cut this. This one, it's a little bit more tricky because when you hit there, a lot of time that piece, it's not flipped. So you want to make sure that you don't cut that. So I'm going to bulk it a little bit so I'm not cutting the other piece under. That's the main thing, not to cut the 2 pieces, just one. And don't cut your fingers. Voila. Now, what you're going to do is take this here. And see, this part, it's almost already done. See? Now flip this and make it touch. You see under where they touch equally? Roll this till it's center pretty much. Here we go. Now it's falling down perfectly. Just fold it this way. Then take your bone folder, reinforce this good. So again, when you start turning, just push it together. Now we're going to go this way. And then this here, we're going to make sure it's go good. Voila! That is it, my friend. Is that cool how it flipped and it flipped and it flipped? So again, you want your piece of paper need to be square. You score in the center very lightly just for a mark to know where to cut. And then from the center to this, right in half. So like this here, 6 by 6, it's 3 in the center, 1.5, 4.5. If you forget the 4.5, that's okay, just flip your paper. And when you glue it, 1 on one side, the center, and 1 on the other side. And that's what make it keep on going and going. So this is it, my friend. And again, if you look for the envelope and you see this fit perfectly in here, perfect, it all match. I had a label there to put the address. That is it. Then decide to do your stamping. Oh, one important step. I thought to be smart and stamp it first, and that didn't work good. So when I stamp it all together, this was good. But when I flip it, for some reason, I add it not together, because you see my butterfly don't match there. I add it this way. I had flip it this way. So this way it matched, but really when it's together, it's not. So you want to make sure it's like the beginning, that's when you're going to stamp it. And you can add some paper too, but it make it bulky when you fold it. That is it. Till next time, happy stamping!